Many traders know what a liquidity sweep looks like, but very few understand why the market creates it before reacting from a supply zone. Is it really necessary? Or is something else happening behind the scenes? In today's video, I'll break down the complete blueprint step by step. Then we'll apply the same idea to two real chart examples. By the end, you'll understand not only where the liquidity sweep forms, but also why it becomes one of the most important pieces of this entire setup. Before we jump into the real charts, let's first understand the complete blueprint of this concept. Everything begins when price moves lower and breaks the previous low, creating a break of structure. This gives us a bearish market bias and tells us where our attention should be. After that, price starts retracing higher and reaches a supply zone. But the interesting part begins here. Instead of reacting immediately, price often moves away and then starts climbing back again. During this move, it creates a liquidity sweep by collecting the nearest liquidity before reaching the supply zone. This isn't a random movement. It plays an important role in the entire sequence, and we'll understand exactly why when we move to the real chart. Once that liquidity has been collected, price returns to mitigate the supply zone. At this stage, we don't rush into the trade. We simply observe how price behaves inside the zone and wait for the confirmation the market provides. Once that confirmation appears, the sell opportunity becomes much clearer, with the next objective being the sell-side liquidity. This is the complete blueprint. Now, let's open the first chart and understand every step in detail. Now that we've understood the complete blueprint, let's see how it unfolds on a real chart. As you'll notice, every move follows the same sequence we just discussed. The only difference is that on a live chart, each step has a purpose that isn't obvious at first glance. That's why we're not going to jump straight to the trade. Instead, we'll build the entire story candle by candle, so by the time the opportunity appears, you'll understand exactly why it deserves your attention. Let's begin with the first and most important step. The first thing I look for is the break of structure. Here, price moves below the previous low, showing that sellers have gained control, and the previous bullish movement has lost its strength. This gives me a bearish market bias and tells me to focus only on sell opportunities. But this doesn't mean I'm searching for a trade immediately. The break of structure simply provides the direction. From this point onward, every move that price makes will help us understand whether this blueprint is developing exactly as we expect. So, let's continue and see where price leads us next. After the break of structure, my attention shifts to this supply zone. This is the area where strong selling pressure previously entered the market, making it an important location to watch. But simply marking a supply zone isn't enough. The real objective is to understand how price behaves as it approaches this area. Does it move directly into the zone, or does the market have one more task to complete first? That question is the key to this entire concept, and the next price movement will give us the answer. Now, before price reaches the supply zone, I want to identify the next important destination on the downside, and that's this sell-side liquidity. Why do I mark it now? Because every trade should have a logical objective before execution. By knowing where price is likely to move if sellers take control, we can judge whether the setup offers enough potential. But before price can begin that move, there's one important event that usually takes place first. Now let's understand the liquidity sweep, because this is where many traders get confused. The first question is, why did I mark the liquidity here instead of behind the supply zone? The reason is that I'm looking for the liquidity that's positioned closest to the area where price is likely to react. When enough liquidity is available nearby, there's no reason to focus on a much higher level. The next question is, how do we identify this liquidity? I simply look for recent swing highs, equal highs, or areas where breakout traders are likely to participate. These locations naturally attract price before it reaches the supply zone. As price moves higher, it collects that liquidity first and then continues toward the supply zone. So, the liquidity sweep isn't just another pattern on the chart. It becomes a clue that helps us understand what price is preparing to do next. With that part complete, let's now focus on how price behaves after reaching the supply zone. After collecting the liquidity, price continues into the supply zone and begins mitigating it. At this stage, I'm paying close attention to how price behaves inside the zone, rather than reacting to the first touch. As price starts slowing down, a bearish order block forms within the supply zone. This order block becomes important because it gives us a more refined area to observe. Instead of treating the entire supply zone the same, we now have a specific location where sellers may begin showing their presence. The next step is to wait and see how price responds when it comes back to this order block. After the order block is created, price retraces back into that area once again. This return gives us the opportunity to observe the market's reaction. As sellers step in, price produces a strong bearish displacement, showing that selling pressure is beginning to take control. That reaction provides the confirmation I've been looking for throughout this entire sequence. With the bearish displacement rejecting the order block, the sell position can now be executed. The protective stop loss is placed above the recent high, while the objective remains the sell-side liquidity we identified earlier. At this point, every step of the blueprint has come together exactly as planned. Now we've seen this blueprint work with an order block confirmation. But what if the market gives us a different confirmation, while the overall sequence remains exactly the same? Does the blueprint still hold its value? Let's move to another chart and find out. As you'll notice, the break of structure, the supply zone, and the liquidity sweep all develop in the same order. The only difference is the way the market confirms the selling opportunity. Now, let's move to the second example. Just like the first chart, price moves lower and creates a break of structure, giving us a bearish market bias. As price begins retracing, we identify this supply zone because it's the area where we're expecting selling interest to appear. Up to this point, the entire blueprint remains exactly the same. The difference begins after price reaches the supply zone. This time, instead of using an order block for confirmation, we'll use an inverse fair value gap. If you're not familiar with this concept or want to understand it in detail, I've already explained everything step by step in my most recent video. For this lesson, let's focus on how the inverse fair value gap works within the same blueprint and helps us confirm the selling opportunity. Before moving any further, let's identify our objective. This sell-side liquidity becomes the destination for the entire setup because it's the area where sell-side resting liquidity is available below the previous lows. Marking the objective in advance helps us understand whether the trade offers enough room to develop. Once we know where price is likely to seek liquidity, we can focus completely on finding the right confirmation instead of making decisions without a clear destination. As price continues moving higher, we can once again see the liquidity sweep developing before price reaches the supply zone. Just like in the first example, the focus remains on the nearest liquidity because that's where the market is more likely to collect orders before testing the supply zone. The principle hasn't changed. Price collects the liquidity first, then continues toward the area where we're expecting a reaction. Since we've already covered the complete reasoning behind the liquidity sweep, our attention now shifts to what price creates after entering the supply zone, because that's where this example begins to differ from the previous one. After the liquidity sweep is complete, price continues into the supply zone and begins mitigating it. Now, one important thing to understand is that the market doesn't create the same confirmation every time. In one setup, it may form an order block. In another, it may create an inverse fair value gap, a fair value gap, or even a breaker block. That's why we don't force the market to produce a specific pattern. Instead, we observe the confirmation that naturally develops inside our area of interest. In this example, the market forms an inverse fair value gap, so this becomes the confirmation we'll use before looking for the selling opportunity. Once the inverse fair value gap is formed, price retraces back into that area. This is the moment I pay the closest attention, because I want to see how the market reacts. As price respects the inverse fair value gap, a strong bearish displacement appears, showing that sellers are stepping back into the market. That reaction provides the confirmation needed to execute the sell position. The protective stop loss is placed above the recent swing high, while the trade objective remains the sell-side liquidity we identified earlier. Once again, the blueprint remains the same. The only thing that changed was the confirmation the market provided. As expected, selling pressure continues to build, and price moves lower until it reaches the sell-side liquidity we identified at the beginning of the setup. This completes the entire blueprint, from the break of structure to the supply zone, the liquidity sweep, the confirmation, and finally, the target. The biggest lesson from today's video isn't just one confirmation pattern. It's understanding the complete sequence and allowing the market to reveal the confirmation naturally. Once you understand that blueprint, you'll start recognizing the same logic across different market conditions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.